Alright, great. I once again forgot to record, and that means that I've already played a bunch without showing it off. Well, let's it's not a great start. Let's go over here, take a look at the losses. Axis as of now losing around 119,000, 1,200 guns, 553 tanks. For us it's almost 1.5 million, 22,000 guns and 8,000 AVs. Most of them captured, I guess, but also a lot of them killed. I guess disabled men will slowly trickle back, but the same applies to the Axis. In terms of order of battle, not that much change. We're still roughly 200,000 below my opponent, but because we have some force in reserve, basically it means that ultimately we have a bit more. In terms of points, my opponent got up another 16, and that means that he's now 485 total men. For us it's gradually climbing by about 100k every turn. It's not bad. Total guns, total AFVs, and total aircraft. Manpower losses remaining in the 100k range now. Gun losses, AFV losses, 91 for my opponent this time, but I'm sure he can replace that. Total aircraft losses, my opponent lost more aircraft than I did, so that's actually pretty interesting. Looking at manpower pool, for both me and my opponent going down as it is. Armaments pool doesn't really matter that much. I guess manpower pool at that is a bit more important. Alright, so what happened? I'm gonna show off the battles, I guess. My opponent pushed me out of Kherson pretty handily. A lot of artillery, or 3 Stuk battalions too. Interesting. Bunch of heavy howitzers and stuff too, so my opponent beat me there. Obviously that was my plan all along. Well, it will delay him for a turn. So my opponent did some, I guess, some recon to see if there was something out there. He lost a few recon, but nothing really important as it is. Now, like I said, my opponent has decided, this is actually me here, my opponent has decided to go across the river with armor on this side, which is exactly what I thought he would, and he decided to take his armor, take it out, move it all the way around, and bypass the Dnieper River that way. Now, the good thing for me in that regard is that he will have some trouble with his rail. He has also seen fit to do a few attacks, much to my detriment, or at the very least, of the 190th Rifle Division. So, he has a bunch of planes there too. He actually lost some on that, which is fine, I guess. I mean, I cannot see how many planes my opponent's has, except that, you know, I can only look at total aircraft like this, but my opponent has plenty of aircraft. Either way, then basically nothing happened along here. My opponent kicked me out of Gomel. That's not interesting. Let's actually immediately take care of this before I forget. Disband the depot here. So there's that. Then, yeah, I retook Smolensk. It's actually pretty funny there. So nothing much happened in the front up here either. There we go. So I retreated back a little bit, and then basically my opponent did do a bunch of attacks here where he was, you know, pushing me around like a rag doll, really. I made him lose a few tanks in the process, but then of course we also lost a lot of them. And yeah, that just generally a pretty bad ordeal for me overall. So kind of sucks. Especially stuff like this. Although at least my opponent lost 11 tanks on that. Yeah, so pretty rough all around here. And then of course they routed these. He did some reconnaissance, interestingly enough here, where my opponent's not gonna move his armor through all this and then move up. Either way, he also pushed me around here, pushing me back along these hexes, and then also here, but he hasn't broken the rail line yet, interestingly enough, so I was quite happy about that. And that's basically what happened during the turn. I did some reorganization, and I'm at 11 AP, because... which general did I switch up now? Who was it? Damn it. It might have been down here. Was it 8th Army? No, it must have been 9th Army. Yeah. I changed the general for Pavel Belov, who is 6th Infantry, and he is a 655. He's poor mech, but yeah, I switched him around. So that hopefully these guys, which have been reinforced a little bit by me, so that their defensive values are a bit higher. My opponent could attack on these as well. I cannot get the anti-tank on it. Take 7, yeah. Well, we'll see if he's gonna attack down. He's likely just gonna make an attack like that. But I'm hoping on some reserve action, and even if he doesn't, he might just cross with 1 or 2 units. We'll have to see. I'm trying to delay him as long as possible. But, yeah, we've gotten things taken care of over here. 8th Army could get a few more units there, but that's okay. Sound Front's actually not overburdened. Interesting. How is the Reserve Front doing? Also not overburdened at the moment. I mean, I'm gonna make some switches again. But, yeah, I've already done a bunch of stuff, and so let's just, let's get going here now. Let's just see if my... Yeah. It seems to be nigh impossible here for them to escape. I tried. There's no use for them to stay on that hex, I guess. They are ready. Maybe next turn they can get to something like this. I don't know. It doesn't really matter either way what they do. Actually, I want to start with the Eastern Theater. So once again, I've a bit too much, and that means that I'm gonna send some stuff over to the front here. T-38s, huh? Got some interesting supports. They're all pretty weak. Armored Car Brigade. Really? I can't even build that stuff. Armored Car Brigade. It seems like I got a bunch of light rocket regiments. Interestingly. I can technically make one more. But I'm not gonna do that. actually see what the difference is. Mountain Cavalry Division has a lot more men. Mostly in terms of support, and they also have tanks. Alright. Fair enough. I'm not doing anything with this. Apparently I can barely build any more artillery. Practically none. Same for anti-tank regiments. Can build more sabers and stuff, but that costs a lot. I would get more, but it's too expensive. Just checking out this stuff. Alright. How powerful are these units? 0.8. They're quite powerful. Send you to the map. 109. Let's leave this at 100 after this. Unless I get another bunch of units there again. I could do that too. But for the moment, I guess I'm just better off transferring stuff. Could probably send one more rifle division. There we go. Let's see what they're up to now. 99. I can live with that. Let's take a look at the reinforcements for next turn. And I get some stuff here. Also, all this will come as reinforcements to Far East and a motorcycle regiment. Let's see, Transcaucasus, Northern Front. Yeah, so we get some stuff there. Alright, nothing in Far East here. Besides the earlier stuff, but I'm sure they'll get it back to 100. Transcaucasus is at 88, so nothing to be done there. And the Northern Front are also at 89, so also not good. But I'm sending some stuff there. Will arrive next turn. As for reserves here, I'm gonna set a few of these over to refit. Not sure if it helps, but the stuff here, it goes so slow. I'm gonna again send the rifle divisions, which are at 43%, over to the map, and just let those guys do stuff like digging on cities or something until they're up to full strength. They do get a near full complement of rifle squads, or at least half of it, I suppose, but it seems like things are pretty rough generally, but and at the same time, let's take a look at the artillery. If it's above 60, I'll send it. Which a few of them have. And that's about it. As these anti-tank units is going exceedingly slow. It's rather a disappointment. AA, I'll also leave it like that. And we now indeed have these Guards Light Rocket Regiments. They have Katyushas, but they're all quite depleted. I'm going to send 10 of these over to the map once again. They're not filling up either. And 10. Alright, so that's all those. Now, what I've done is basically I've decided to pull back over on this section, pull myself behind Cell River. I have to shift a lot of extra forces from here because my opponent is not gonna attack here anymore, so I'm basically moving all my armor, sadly, over to this side. I knew that was a thing that my opponent was likely to do, take their armor, move to this side, but rather this has cost him some turns, and I'd rather have him, or try to have him fight on my terms. I need to fill this up. I got these guys, pull them back as well. Pulled back over here, pulled back here. My opponent, what I sometimes do is sometimes I, try to skim, stuff like this, for example. I do that and I keep creeping up. If I see an opening, just like I did here last turn. And the funny thing is my opponent actually left Smolensk open and this lower area too. So now I got this entire chunk of which I got the double rail. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if this is his actual rail unit, and now all these guys get their supply from much further. So that must really suck for my opponent. I do think it's worth these 11,000, even though it's a mechanized and a tank division. Especially if my opponent cannot take it down immediately, I can keep going. I think that's unlikely. They'll probably just move this. I think he'll be able to make it in an attack, but you never know. I mean, I think it's worth trying it. I think it's also worth noble sacrifice of these guys. Taking back Smolensk, of course. That's perfect. If he has to move all the way here and throw a hasty, he might also not even be able to take Smolensk immediately. Alright, I retreated back to a new lines, kinda-ish like here. I'm not done yet. And then I also haven't, done that much besides here. But and I haven't touched Leningrad even. You can see he has a rail unit here. Either way, let's start working on this because this is also, yeah. We know it's gonna rain here as well on August 17th. So we'll still have rain over Leningrad. It doesn't change the stuff on the ground. But it yeah, that's at least decent now. Yeah, some of these places have zero water. It's kind of weird. Either way, my opponent has pushed in here, rather unfortunate. But these areas here are of no real consequence. The double rail is the most important thing here. Now, it seems my opponent is not super interested in pushing any further. So he has some units here. I can probably just leave 2 over there. 2 weaker ones and pull the 285th Rifle further north. Now, I'm surprised he hasn't attacked this tank division. It's a clear terrain hex and obviously no good. If my opponent wants to keep attacking into those hexes, he can be my guest. Because the battle becomes such a slog, and I know that ultimately those losses are not too great for me. Fair enough. But I mean, look, he also lost a bunch of Junkers 88s here. That's a lot of bombers there. But basically, I need to slow him down, and I know he's basically a hair's breadth from the rail line, but I really have to dig in too, I guess. Are you? Yeah, you're ready. Okay, but you have to be ready. Oh, really? What? You can only go into those hexes? Oh, shit. Yeah. That puts him at a 30. Now, like I said, I don't think my opponent is that interested in dealing with this, so I'm just gonna keep these guys here. If he wants to push me to this side, he can be my guest, really. Over with this, oh. Not completely sure what to make of this. Both of these are ready. Now, let's get this unready guy out of there. My opponent has not attacked there, actually, and I'd be shocked to see him attack here. Funny thing is I could actually try to creep in on the side there. No. And they cannot get through there, unfortunately. It would be pretty funny, but I don't really see it happening. As it is, I can move my units up and... yeah, let's take a look. Those that cannot defend will have to go out, at the very least. Okay, let's throw you in there. If my opponent attacks this, that doesn't immediately break the rail line. And I have one more unit there. Given how interested my opponent is in... I mean, he didn't move into those hexes. I find that very... very weird. They're ready. What else do I have? You're still unable to do anything. Where's the supply? Do I have supplies in my gar? Should have them there. Because it not only doesn't mean I can get guys like this up there. That really clears things up. It's just a defense of 2. At the very least, I'm retreating from that. From this. I'm putting another naval infantry in here. My opponent has to cross the river here, which is gonna be... I guess potentially difficult attack, but my opponent is not getting past this by a lot, by much, at least for the next turn. So, as it is, this is probably fine, allowing me to put these 2 units, which are in god-awful shape, into these heavy woods here. So there. Let's get you out there. And I will have to reorganize some of that stuff, but it's fine. Move you back. Everything in here is ready. Did my opponent attack that? They did not. Okay. Now, it seems that my opponent is gonna make a push into this area. Fair enough. Now, I'm putting all of these in reserve, which is not gonna do a lot. But there's at least that then. This one is only 9,000 men, but all of my guys are like that here. 15 is still god-awful. What am I going to do? So I can send you up here. Then they're actually at 68. You're unready, so I kind of need to get them out. And then it's probably better to have at least the 111th here. I think them being there is fine. This fortified region has done nothing yet. Neither did this one, but they're at 5 men only. They need to refit, and I guess that's pretty much about it. I have a few units here. I'm not gonna withdraw you to the northern front. Yeah. Okay, I have the 230th. Which is by far my best unit. Okay. I'm actually gonna put 3 depots here. So the units that are encircled will have depots for a long time. If it does get to that. And also, I want to move this rifle division over in here. Now, I'm very curious to see whether I can offload it here. Yes, I can. Very nice. Both Kolpino and Pushkin are cities. Put them in Kolpino for now. And they have to come from the other side now. Oh wow. That's actually pretty amazing. Now, units like these will be put on a refit. Not you, I think. No. But they can help dig in on those cities. There's a 5X because of the 300th Rifle Division. They're not actually getting any combat prep points in there, huh? Well, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Interestingly, I also still have this cavalry. I'm gonna keep them here because it actually makes a pretty decent defense that way. So yeah, pathetic. Okay. And I would be having a mountain unit in Kubyshev. It's a pretty powerful mountain unit. Shouldn't it? Oh, should I get a new TOE? No. Huh, okay. Never mind that then, but how much do I... Oh, snap. I can actually offload it there. Wow. That's pretty good. What do I have here? Holy smokes. Another unit to be offloaded here. 4-3. It's insane. Move you right over there. Now, I cannot put it in here right now. You in there. You in here. Just like that. Eventually, in like a turn or two, I'm gonna need to shift forces over to this side too, as my opponent is basically then moving up towards this area. But we're not there yet. Also, the there's an army here. Could actually use it over here quite a bit. Can I take it off? Yes, I can. All right. That's super nice. All right, right. Yeah, I'm still gonna have to do some reorganizing and stuff, but I think in terms of turns, it wasn't that bad. What I am gonna do is set this over here. And while these guys are busy over here, just gonna have them refit. If there's some kind of miracle, my opponent does break through in there in one turn at least, he doesn't get to take it. Not that I think that's likely, but he's actually quite close to Moscow, besides the fact that I took Smolensk just now. But let's also take a quick sneak peek here. Yeah. There are a few units, quite a few units I need to send away. And then also quite a few units are still attached to stuff. But, alright, there we go. I guess brigades can't move by themselves. Any hexes? Oh yeah, they could actually flip that one. Right, I'll be back after a break. So thanks for watching. Alright, back, and I've taken care of pretty much the rest of the turn here. What I've done is I've been, reorganizing all this stuff here, switching my units up and around slightly, but not a lot. And I actually think I'm gonna get rid of the Cremcher Depot. Whoop. There we go. So, there's that. Then again, like, I just shifted the HQs and stuff. I moved my force around here a little bit. Still a bit scared they're gonna move up here. If he sends his armor up here, drives through there. I'd be in a bit of trouble. He might get a few units, but like I said, I'm trying to pull back and get a coherent line out of it. I guess these guys are also going to move back to the Sula next turn, depending on what my opponent does. I mean, this kind of stuff never goes according to plan, so we'll have to see. Switch some stuff around here. Retreated most of these units back to form something. I know I'm way too far to the back for this time, but I've let my opponent advance too fast and now I'm in trouble. I mean, it's my first time playing this. I'm not necessarily sure about everything, but either way, I pulled back, and again for like 3, even 4 hexes some areas, because if that armor moves and attacks, it's straight up going to be in trouble. No, I actually want to pull back on that one already. I don't care if they get all the way to Ostashkov, really. Just like that too. Yeah, I mean, they're not super on defense, but it's fine, I guess. We'll have to see, really. I really don't think these guys are doing that well in terms of supply. Like, that must be terrible. I don't know where his other rail units are, but him not getting the supplies through here, like, that shit must be terrible. Well, I can expect him to at least have a rail up to Veliki Luki, but then they need to get their supplies through that stuff. Can I actually see how many trucks my opponent has? Probably not. Interesting, these manpower losses in the logistics phase. Like ours is 41,000, enemies 17,000, stuff like that. That's... But I can't see the amount of trucks that my opponent has. I mean, I don't think. We probably don't get to see it. No, it doesn't look like it. And as for logistics, I only see my own. So my opponent actually got 88 tanks more, huh? Probably going down with this stuff. He also got 50,000 men extra, which is pretty crazy. Well, either way, up there I also reorganized things a bit. I got that 44th Army up here, which is absolutely terrible. Or 42nd, but I can't switch them up because it costs too many admin points. I guess change only 1 leader per turn, and that takes pretty long. But yeah, what do we get again next turn? So let's just say I do want at least 2 map just to see what we get. And let's also do type. Next turn we get 2 good infantry and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bad ones on the map. Turn 9 we'll get a lot more. I don't specifically know how this... Oh yeah, these arrived. So next turn... 1, 2, 3, 5 good ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones that aren't ready yet. No cavalry. We'll also get the Brienz Kron next turn. No mountain. Alright. Not too shabby. Let's take one last look whether they dumped some unit there somewhere secretly. The game does tend to do that. Hey, security unit is gone. Might actually just send this naval infantry brigade over here. Might as well put those guys in the Sevastopol fortress, I guess. Although they'd probably be just as well off of the map. Alright, that's it for reinforcements. I'll be shipping it back to my opponent once again. I got this 37th Army. I'm gonna move it up because this guy is actually really good. It's half decent, so I actually want to switch the 42nd Army for it. I also put a bunch more depots here, so one on Muga, one on every part of Leningrad, so that when my opponent cuts it off, at least, you know, they might actually be somewhat full. But we'll see. Real shame I can't really cut this off. My opponent would also immediately figure it out. Like, if I go here... he will immediately move this unit there, and... yeah. I'll have to, yeah, be content with that. Keep the one there, there. Start giving those normal priority, because I think those on the road are getting pretty important. We'll start getting Kaluga to become a 2. Bryansk is already a 3. Poltava is a 4, 4, 4, 4. Melitopol needs to be a 4 now. Genichesk is gonna be run over. Your normal priority should be okay. Alright. Yes. Alright, we'll see how the next turn goes. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. See you then.